Let's get started. Certainly, we welcome you to the 2022 Veterans Day service here at the City of Auburn. Obviously, we've had to make some adjustments this morning, and we're certainly not going to let a hurricane get in the way of celebrating our veterans in the way that they should be celebrated. So thank all of you for adjusting. I want to thank our city staff for making a call about 30, 45 minutes ago to bring this event inside in the best interest of all of our attendees. And we're grateful to have you here, and we look forward to this service that we're about to go through. I will tell you that we're going to adapt. The program is going to be altered somewhat. After the service is over with, we do invite everyone to please come over if the weather permits. We will have a wreath laying ceremony at our Veterans Memorial right afterwards, and then I'll remind you that the Chamber of Commerce will host a reception after that. So we will officially lay our wreath, but we just will not do that here inside. Also, the bagpipes that we enjoy each and every year at this ceremony are not going to be with us this morning, so we'll end a little early. Unfortunately, we will not hear the great rendition of Amazing Grace, but still, we're going to have a great Veterans Day ceremony, and I'm very thankful to have all of you here. Thank you for coming and being a part of this today. At this time, I'd like to ask the Auburn High School Junior ROTC to please post the colors, and if you are able, would you please stand?
Mark time. Mark. Ready. Hold. Left. Face. Present. Arms. Order. Arms. Right. Face. Forward. March. Color guard. Hold. All out.
Would you please remain standing, and I'll ask at this time Mr. Jeff Dameron from the Union Christian Church to present our invocation.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we, your children, give thanks to you for all those through whom you have blessed our pilgrimage, those whose lives have empowered us and whose influence is a healing grace. And we lift up thankful hearts. We honor this day before you, our veterans, the worthy men and women who in the day of decision gave their best when they were called upon to serve and to protect our nation. Bless them abundantly for the hardships that they've faced, and for the sacrifices they've made, and for their courage in confronting the forces of tyranny and oppression. We are so proud of them, we respect them, we honor them, and we thank them, because they have made our country strong. And they're models for us, even though we fall short of them so often. So Lord, hear our prayer and grant that we may finish the good work that you have begun in our nation and within ourselves, that your kingdom will reign here on earth as it is in heaven. Amen.
Please be seated. Thank you, Jeff, for your invitation. Thank you to Auburn Junior High School, Junior ROTC, for the presentation of colors. And again, thank you for all that are here today. We have a number of special guests. In the chaos of exchanging locations, I'm not sure I'll have all of you identified. I know our Mayor Pro Tem Beth Witt is here. I know our Alabama Representative, District 79, Joe Lovern, is with us today, and our new state senator and former city councilman Jay Hovey is with us today. City councilman, I've seen Sonny Mormon and Kelly Griswold. I especially thank you guys and want to recognize you today as veterans yourself. Thank you for your service. And I'm not sure I've got any other city council representatives here, and if you're here, please raise your hand and I'll recognize you. But we're proud to have all of you here today, and thank you again for adjusting your schedule and making it work inside this room today. Thank you, Judge McLaughlin, for exchanging your courtroom for a public service room for this ceremony. We're grateful. We're honored to gather here today for the 2022 Veterans Day ceremony. I'd like to start off by thanking each of you for taking time out of your schedule to be with us on this Friday morning, this rainy Friday morning. This truly is such an important holiday. It gives us a chance to take a break from our busy schedules to honor our veterans from all eras and all wars. Something we could never do too often and often do too little. We celebrate Veterans Day, originally known as Armistice Day, on November 11th in remembrance of the day fighting ceased during World War I. Auburn's history is full of ties to our military, including World War I. Alumni and students of the Alabama Polytechnic Institute risked their lives to serve in uniform during this war. And according to the records, at least 25 members of the Auburn family lost their lives during World War I. Though regarded at the time as the war to end all wars, our nation has entered into many other conflicts since that day of peace in 1918. And since that day, Americans and members of the Auburn family have answered the call to defend and protect our nation's values, putting their lives on the line and lending their talents so that we can enjoy the freedoms that we have today. So today we join with communities across our nation to honor each of these men and women for the sacrifice that they've made in service for the common good. For each of our veterans and current service men and women joining us today, I'd like to extend a special thank you for your dedication and contribution to our community and nation. If you are a veteran, and you can, would you please stand? At this time, I'm honored to introduce you to one of those veterans, retired United States Army Sergeant Mary Shea Ray. First joined the Army in 2011 and served in the 15th Engineer Battalion Forward Support Company in Germany. After her medical retirement, she went back to school and earned her associate's degree before coming to Auburn University, where she graduated with a bachelor's in psychology in 2020. Sergeant Ray is now pursuing her master's in counseling. Before coming to Auburn, Sergeant Ray trained service dogs to help her fellow veterans with PTSD. She has a passion for giving back to her brothers and sisters in arms, as well as their families. And I'm proud to introduce you to Mary Shea Ray as today's speaker. Mary Shea.
Wow, good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, let me say I am incredibly humbled and honored to be standing here before all of you today, despite the weather. Thank you to Mayor Ron Anders and esteemed guests of the City of Auburn for allowing me the privilege and opportunity to be here this morning. In addition, I'd like to start by thanking all of those among us who, despite the risk and sacrifice, raised their hand to defend our beautiful country. Our veterans, active duty service member, guardmen, and reservists. Your service has helped keep our country and her people safe and free. So thank you. Let's also take a moment to acknowledge those families of service members and veterans who help shoulder the weight of war. Not only do they help shoulder that weight of war, they know that burden of sacrifice as well. To the mothers, fathers, spouses, and children of our military men and women, I thank you. Your love, support, and resilience are the strength of our great nation, and that must never be taken for granted nor forgotten. Now, I will not claim to be an expert on the Bible by any means. And believe me when I say you would all prefer me to leave the preaching to Brother Jeff, who gave this morning's very inspiring invocation. But I do know in the book of Isaiah, the Lord asks, "Whom shall I send, and who will go for us?" The prophet Isaiah's response was to volunteer for service by saying, "Here I am, send me." Thankfully, our great nation has always been blessed to have strong men and women with exceptional courage. People willing and able to raise their right hand to say, "Here I am, send me," and defend and protect the United States of America whenever our freedoms and our way of life have been threatened. And they have answered that call to action to defend our nation time and time again, on every front and in every battle. From our war for independence, more than 245 years ago, to World War I, to Pearl Harbor, World War II, to Korea, Vietnam, to 9/11, to our fight in Afghanistan and Iraq, and the many ongoing battles we face today and every war in between. America's brave sons and daughters have willingly come forward to raise that right hand and say, "Here I am," and engage our enemies, those both foreign and domestic. For well over 245 years, the men and women of our nation have stepped forward to serve in our armed forces to defend our freedoms. They have risked their lives for our country, her people, our ideals and beliefs that we all as Americans treasure and hold dear. Our battles, our victories, and our very way of life is not due to great moments or significant dates. They are due to the actions and sacrifices of these men and women who are willing to step in, raise their hands, say, "Here I am," for their country and for the foundations of her freedom. America is the great country she is today because of her heroes, both past and present. Selfless individuals willing to answer the call of duty to put the nation's interest above self-interest, to put patriotism above profit, and those who put love of country above love of self. Our veterans made that deliberate choice to live a life of sacrifice and service for the greater cause. And for America and her people, that has made all the difference. And that's what sets our great nation apart. The intestinal fortitude inside each and every one of our veterans isn't just something that's transferred into them the moment they raise their hand. It isn't something that magically appears that moment that they don that service uniform. No, that kind of mindset and dedication and sacrifice, it is ingrained in us over a lifelong process that begins in our homes, that begins in our hometown, just like the city of Auburn. It begins by being nurtured through our military training and develops our interactions and experiences in service, and therefore it is harvested through our camaraderie and selfless service. Growing up, all of us learn these traits from those who impact us, from our parents, from our grandparents, from teachers and mentors alike. These people have aided us along the way to allow us to become the people we are now, and we thank you for that. Our veterans come from all across America, representing the diversity and the character of this great nation. And due to that diversity and strong character, our veterans have made our country the great nation she is. Veterans are leaders. They are volunteers, both inside and outside of service, both in uniform and outside of uniform. They are role models for those around them. They want to accomplish missions both in and out of uniform and on and off the battlefield. They want to succeed. Their fighting spirit is the very backbone of this great nation. They embody the highest standards of service at home and abroad, at sea and ashore, and in combat and in times of peace. Our strength as a nation comes from loyal citizens like each one of you here today. Americans who acknowledge our unique challenges and are aware of the sacrifice and dangers that we face. Those of us who serve and have served, we are grateful for patriots like you who support us, who support our families when we're deployed, who help make us what we are today, the world's greatest force for stability and peace the world has ever known. And I, for one, am appreciative for your support and all that you do. May God bless each and every one of you, all of our soldiers, Marines, sailors, airmen, Coast Guardmen, DoD civilians, National Guardmen, and our reservists, past and present, who answered the call to duty. May God bless the city of Auburn, and may God bless the United States of America, which has always been, and for shall ever be, the land of the free, because of the brave. Thank you.
At this time, we would have normally had the wreath laying. I'll remind you again that we'll do that here later with weather permitting up the street. I did want to recognize a member of our police division, Myron Thornton, who is a retired Marine, who'll be joining me for that wreath laying. I didn't know if we'd be able to recognize Myron when we get up there and do this afterwards, but I want to tell Myron thank you for your service, and we look forward to participating with you here in just a few minutes. And now again, I'll turn it over to Chris Deason, the director of the East Sanford School Choir. Thank you to all the young men, young women from East Sanford School for giving up your Friday morning and being a part of this. Thank you, parents, for joining them. On the back of your program card is a list of individuals that represent the Auburn Veterans Committee. I want to thank all those individuals. They represent veterans in the city of Auburn, and they help plan this event, and they also help with the Mayor's Memorial Day breakfast. Many of those people are right over here in the corner. Thank all of y'all for the way you serve the city of Auburn again. After the wreath laying ceremony, there will be a reception at the Auburn Chamber of Commerce, and I thank Anna Hody and her staff for allowing us to join them this morning, and giving us a place to go and fellowship afterwards. Veterans, thank you. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank your families for the sacrifice they made to allow you to serve. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to be here today to celebrate our freedom because of the work that you have done. My good friend and former Mayor Bill Ham always said at the end of this ceremony, and I still believe it resonates today, any day is a good day to thank a veteran. I hope all of us that aren't veterans will go out of our way to thank our veterans each and every day. Y'all have a great Veterans Day. God bless you. Thank you for everything you've done.